I'm Kev.
And I'm Steve.
And we're from the internet.
Want to help us spread the We're From the Internet word? Leaving us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes and Stitcher would give us a nice little boost in the search results and help new listeners find us.
What is the first Videogame you ever played?
That's the best one yet. I remember I mentioned this to you in the car the other day, I think, where because I've put that in a little translator thing as video game, all one word, he just couldn't handle it.
Videogame.
What is the first video game you ever played? Why are the questions all about video games at the moment? What's going on? Yesterday's was about video games as well. Are we going to descend into a teaching rant again? Or are we going to talk about your job today because someone's asked about video games? We get paid to talk about video games on the other show. We're not going to do it for free on this one, you cheeky monkeys.
Alex Kidd in Miracle World.
Not Alex the Kid anymore.
No, but that's only because I was like 6 when I played it, and that's what I was told it was called. That's the first one I owned. Probably the first one I ever played was Sonic 1 on the Mega Drive, or maybe
How
Tetris.
can that be the first game
I don't
you
know.
ever played?
I'm just
that
thinking.
Was in the 90s. Surely the Mega Drive came out in.
I was born in 1985, so I'd have been
No,
like
you
6 in
weren't.
1992.
All right, showbiz age. Ridiculous.
So, I mean, I probably played on my dad's. I can't remember if he had an Atari or what. Now, off the top of my head,
Yeah, we had a Spectrum knocking around, and I played loads of stuff. And the first one I really remember playing was Kenny Dalglish's Soccer Manager on the Spectrum. Sat with my dad, with notebooks in front of us, just playing a really old version of Football Manager. In fact, I went to the National Video Game Arcade in Nottingham last week, and they had a Spectrum cassette in there for a game called Football Manager. And they were cheeky rascals because it's nothing to do with Football Manager that's out now. And they've obviously just put it in there to make people think, oh, look how old Football Manager is. But what they should have is Kenny Dalglish's Soccer Manager, because that was the premier Spectrum football management game. And it was brilliant.
I think I played a game called something like Blue Baron, where you had to basically fly through like maps, bombing towns and shooting planes out of the sky, but you had to land and refuel every few bits, like at the end of every level, I guess. And as a kid, I couldn't land. I just crashed the plane and start again. And as an adult, I fired that up and actually I went on the internet and tried to find the instructions for it to see how you landed the plane, and got to like level 3, and I was so pleased with myself that I'd managed to beat my record as a 4 or 5-year-old. But I suppose I played, I'm trying to think of the bloody names, like Dig Dug and things like that.
See, I've heard of that, but I don't know what it is. One thing that did blow my mind, Frogger, that's just Crossy Road. They're the same game. The connection, it just sort of clicked in my mind yesterday. Hang on. This Crossy Road game that all these kids are playing, that's Frogger.
Doesn't it annoy you when people
It's
do
exactly
stuff like
it
that?
is the same
I've not played
game,
Crossy
though.
Road. I kind of avoid anything
Well,
that's...
you've played Frogger.
Probably.
Imagine Frogger, but it's a road and not a river. And instead of a frog, it's a bird or something, maybe.
Well, aren't most games just Tetris with different stuff on now as well?
What game is Tetris? Grand Theft Auto. They often say Grand Theft Auto is Tetris and stuff on.
If you get what I mean, like they just changed the blocks of something like columns and Tetris. I know that's going back 30 years, but they were the same game. Dr. Mario.
Have you dropped back into your Game Gear versus Game Boy routine that you used to do on the club scene in the 90s?
But if you look at like all the mobile
battery
games,
life on the Game Gear, eh? You know what I mean, eh?
If you look at mobile games at the moment, they're all just Candy Crush is just basically a rip-off of a lot of
Don't get me started on the Atari Lynx. It's like looking in an audio mirror for you, isn't it? In the past.
I remember you saying the NES was your first console, is that right?
It was my first console, and the games I owned on it, and I only ever owned 3. I got these 3 with it, and I never got another game until I got my Mega Drive probably 2 years later. I think I had the 3 best Christmases in a row, so it would have been from, I guess, 1990, 91, 92. That probably feels right. So in 1990, I would have got my NES and my 15-inch portable TV that I still had when I was about 22 until I could buy a grown-up TV.
Nice.
So I got that, and with that I got Mario 1, Mario 3 and Duck Hunt. So I would suggest the first game I owned that I ever played was Duck Hunt, because let's face it, you get a new console like that and one of them uses a gun, you're going to use the one that's got the gun first.
So, yeah, I had a Master System as my first console, and Alex Kidd was inside it already, but I had Rambo 3 with a gun. So I don't know whether I played Rambo first with a gun or whether
You
I
must
played
have done,
Alex Kidd.
because you'd be a monster not to.
Because I remember my parents setting it up. That's one of my earliest memories. My dad setting it up for me, and we put it on. And, I had that, Rambo, and Sonic 2, which was like Master System Sonic 2, where you had the hang gliding level and stuff like that. Couldn't get past the hang glider.
Hang glider.
I can't speak. But yeah.
But then Christmas 1991, I got a Game Boy, and my Game Boy came with Tetris and Super Mario Land, I guess. That sounds like it probably would have been the one. And then Christmas 1992, I got a Mega Drive. A Mega Drive 2, no less.
I think... Was the Mega Drive 2 out that early? Wow. Because I was going to say,
either that or my sequence started later.
It must have started later, because I remember that my cousins got a Mega Drive at Christmas or for their birthdays or something, and I played that. And then on my birthday, got a Master System and was really pleased, but I knew my cousins had a Mega Drive, and I was a bit like, "Rah." And then I got the Mega Drive either that Christmas or for my next birthday. So like you had the glorious years of consoles, I remember getting a Master System, then a Mega Drive, and then my dad got a SNES. And then there was just a few years where we just hammered the hell out of them. And then it was like PlayStation 1, so on and so forth.
What was your deal with the Mega Drive 2? What made it different from the...
Wasn't it just like a polished
just a different
version of it?
shape?
I think they still played the same games. I don't remember having any issues.
Well, the first Mega Drive was released in 1988.
Crikey, okay.
So
I
Mega
could be
Drive
completely
2
wrong
could have
then.
been in 92. I can't see a release date for the Mega Drive 2 on
God, then that
Wikipedia.
must mean I wasn't 6 at all, because my cousin's got
Well,
a Mega Drive
remember,
1.
this is the thing you got to remember. Back then, it was 1988 in Japan.
Oh,
it didn't
right.
make it here until the end of 1990.
Oh, okay, so it must have been. I must have been 5 then, because my cousin's got the Mega Drive pretty much brand new, and then
So
I
yeah,
got a
I would
Master
say
System.
Mega Drive 2 by 1992 feels about right.
Wow. See, I don't. It's weird. I can't really recall because I was only 5 when it
That
ended.
was
I can't
only
recall the
discontinued
80s.
in 1999. The Mega Drive.
I'm not surprised. It was probably one of the best consoles ever.
I kind of preferred the N64 that I got afterwards. Got my N64 afterwards. Then what did I get? I got the Dreamcast, which was I really loved my Dreamcast.
Oh yeah, I loved mine. Yeah.
And then GameCube, and then I became a normal gamer and just got an Xbox and a
Do you know, though-
PlayStation and normal stuff, and started getting everything from then on.
You said about only having 3 games for your NES. I only had 3 for Master System. Sorry, and I remember trading my Mega Drive for this kid's Master System when I was about 9 or 10, only for like a loan, because he had a Master System with like 10 games. I remember playing like Wonder Boy and games like that, and they were awesome. And I missed all of them because I was.
You'd have had to have been seriously rich back then to have more than
Yeah,
a few
well,
games.
I mean, he only had them because they were 15 years old, and he probably got them all for a tenner at a boot sale. But I remember I only had probably 10 NES games, because they must have come down a bit then or something. I don't know. I got really into it. I was obsessed with gaming at a much higher level then than I am now.
Now you do the podcast. Yeah,
But
brilliant.
conversely, I probably only owned like 25, 30 games throughout my childhood, whereas now I seem to be buying sort of 10, 15, 20 games a year at least.
Never play any of them, eh?
Yeah, that's it.
Want to get every episode of We're From The Internet at least a day earlier than the iTunes and Stitcher folk? Head over to we'refromtheinternet.com/pledge to support us on Patreon, and as well as early access, we'll throw in an exclusive weekly show just for our patrons too.